Welcome to how to create a green sheet to get paid on your closing. To create a green sheet and submit it to the office, you have two options. First, you can log into your loop inside of dotloop, and up at the top underneath the name of the listing, you can click View Details, and then you can click on Submit to Green Sheet. This will take you to the green sheet section and allow you to fill out the full green sheet and then click Submit to MCA at the office. If for some reason this does not come up, it usually means that your pop-up blocker is set to block pop-ups from this site. So just go into your settings and allow pop-ups, and you should be able to directly access the green sheet from this field. The other option to create a green sheet is to go directly to the green sheet section through your mykw.kw.com profile, and then underneath technology, you'll click on green sheet. This is also where you can see old green sheets that you've started and that you've submitted to the office, even ones where DAs have been created. So this section brings you to the dashboard rather than directly to the green sheet. To start a green sheet from here, you would just go up to the very top and click Create a Green Sheet. It's going to ask you multiple questions, and you want to answer both of these questions as no. So, no, I am not, and no, it is not. Even if the answer is yes, because sometimes answering yes will bring up fields that will not allow you to connect your listing properly. So just say no to both, and then you can change your answer if it is a listing rather than a buyer directly on the green sheet. When you're filling out the green sheet, you need to fill out all of the information that is in red. You will not be able to submit a green sheet if any of the red fields are left blank. The fields are dynamic based on the choices that you make along the way. And so you can go through and here on transaction, if you select listing sold, you're going to get different classes than if I selected other, then I would have different classes here. So please do recognize that every deal is just a smidge different and that you for sure need to have every single field in red completed. Now I'm going to go through and detail all of the fields in red so you can follow along and see all of those, or if you're feeling comfortable at this point in time, just know that you need to fill out all of the fields in red, and then at the very top click Submit to MCA to turn in the green sheet to the office. So the first main section inside of the green sheet is your general information. At the very top, it's going to say submitted by, and it should say your name. Then you're going to select green sheet type, and it's either going to be residential or commercial. Then you come over and you select the contract date. This should be the execution date of your contract to buy and sell. Then you would select a closing date. And the closing date would be whenever the property is actually going to close. And it has to be after the contract date. Then underneath transaction, you select whether or not you are representing the seller, meaning listing sold, the buyer, meaning buyer sale, or you're representing both sides. Or it could be other if this is a referral fee that you are receiving because you sent a referral to another agent outside of our office. In this circumstance, I'm going to select listing sold as the example. Then you would select class. Most often, you're going to be selecting one of the top three here under type, and those would all have class of lease, property, or other. So lease would be if you were representing a renter or a landlord, and property would be if you're representing a buyer or a seller. Then I can pop over to the next red field. Do know that there are fields here like listing source that if you'd like to track, you are more than welcome to fill out. Just know that they are not required. Then I can click on property type and I can select what type of property it is. So most of the time we're going to be working with resale, so I'm going to click on resale there. Then I come down to below and I type in the property details. So in this circumstance, I'm selling 123 Main Street in Littleton, Colorado, 80123, and then the county is Arapahoe. And again, you can fill out more information if you need to, but you are not required to. Then I can click on Next Section, and this opens up the Price Commission section. Do know that at any point in time, if you're filling out this information and you get interrupted or you need to leave for whatever reason, down at the bottom and at the top, you have the Save for Later button, and you can click that button and then come back in just the way we did. Click on your dashboard, and this will be saved under your initiated green sheets, meaning you have initiated and started the process, but you have not actually submitted it to the office. And then you can even jump through sections, not by clicking the next section, but over here on the left. If you were already maybe finished with these first four, then you could click on Agent Detail and it would jump you directly to that section. So underneath price, I'm going to put the price of the home. So in this fake circumstance, it's going to be $500,000. And then I have to decide what type of commission am I getting. Am I getting a percentage of the commission, as in, 3% or 3.2%, or am I getting a flat fee, meaning maybe I charged this person $2,500 to help them fill out their contract. If I put in percentage, then I would just put in 3.2, tab, and then automatically in this grayed out area that I can actually not click on, you will see that it has calculated what 3.2 of 500,000 is. If I click on flat, it will rather just give me a field that I pop in the amount there. And then I can move on to the next section. I'm going to go ahead and keep this as the percentage and then click next. Underneath buyer, the only required field is the buyer's name. So you can type in that information and you can actually fill out in as much as this as you want. And do remember that that will be kept in your records. So maybe if you've lost your client's information and you wanted a backup of where you could go get that information again, you could always have it here in the green sheet. Then I'm going to click next section and put in the seller. And remember that in the seller section, just like in the buyer section, even if you're not representing them, you need to at least know the full name of the client, the person who is buying or selling the house. Then I click next section and it brings us to the agent detail. This is the most important section because this is what conveys to your MCA how your money should be split with the office and if there are any other extra details that the office should know. If you are a single solo agent, you're only going to usually be filling out just column A. If you are an agent on a team, you might have yourself in column A and then your team lead or one of your buyer's agents in agent B, or you could be having where you have multiple agents, meaning you might have agent B, agent A, and you have a referral that you're paying inside the office under agent C. You would only put a referral on this page if you were actually getting a referral from someone inside your specific KW office. If it is a broker outside of the KW office with another company or even with another KW, you would actually put that under the referral section, outside referral. We'll get to that in just a minute. If you need to add an agent besides yourself because you are automatically added under agent A, you can also click underneath agent B on this magnifying glass, and it will then open up and give you the ability to search for someone. And then you can just select their name, click select, and now they've been popped in as agent B. You cannot type in this field. You must use the search feature to find the person to add them to this. And again, it will only search and add people who are within your KW office. Next, I'm going to put on the agent role. And the agent role in this circumstance, I think I said we were doing a listing here, so I might say that I am the lead agent, and then Marie is my listing specialist. Under type, we're going to say that this is a listing and a listing for both of us, because the only other option is inside, and what that means is inside referral. Then underneath class agency, we're representing the seller, so we're going to put seller in both fields. And then now we get down to the unit. So one thing that you'll see is that listing unit and sales unit are both shown with asterisks and in red, meaning that they are required, but I cannot edit the sales field. That is because up and above in the general section, I noted that I was only representing the seller, meaning the listing. And so that means there isn't a sales unit, and it's already showing here as 0 and won't let me edit that because I am not representing that side. So the only section I would be filling in would be the listing unit. Every single side of a deal, meaning if you were representing only one side, you would have a unit of 1. If you were representing both sides, it would be a unit of 2. Now, if you are sharing a deal with a team member, then what your listing unit would be is you would split it whatever way your team has set up. Meaning maybe as a lead agent, I have it so that the listing unit 1 goes fully underneath me, and then Marie receives commission, but she just has 0 of the unit. Or maybe we're splitting this deal 50-50 and I'm okay with the unit being split 50-50. So then I would type in 0.5 here underneath myself, and then I would come over and put 0.5 underneath Marie. And one thing that you'll see is that once I typed that in and clicked tab, then the gross commission, that $16,000 that we had up here underneath the price, now down underneath agent detail, has been split between these two. Where if I had put in 1 here and then 0 here, it was giving all the commission to me, so I would have to come down and manually type 8,000 here, and then manually type 8,000 here to then have the commission split between the two people. Basically, the listing unit must equal 1 always, whether or not you split it 0.5, 0.5, 1, 0.6, 0.4, that doesn't matter. It just has to equal 1. And do note that you cannot go out more than 2 decimal points, meaning I could do 0.25 and 0.75, but I could not say 0.258. That's not going to be allowed. It's just going to then put it as 0.25. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back to 0.5, 0.5 and pretend that we're on a team where we split things 50-50. Then our gross commission again is down here at 8,000. Now you can see that on the left, all of these fields do not show as required because they are things that could come up but might not come up in those circumstances. So you've got your gross commission, and then you might have an outside referral. You would note that here. You might have an outside referral that's either a percentage or a specific amount, and so based on the field, you would pick what you want there. But you could leave this blank if it doesn't apply to your circumstance. You might have a concession to a buyer or maybe a bonus from a new build. All of those would go into these different fields and either remove money from your gross commission or add money to your gross commission. Then we get into the split with the office. So here it is saying 100% to agent or split with market center. What this is talking about is this is not talking about your company dollar or your royalty. It's talking about the field directly above it, the bonus. Depending on your office's policy, sometimes bonuses are 100% to the agent, or they act just like regular commission and are split with the office. So if you have questions about what you should be putting in this field when you have a bonus, talk to your MCA. Now we have our subtotal right here, and now we're getting into the company dollar and royalty. So your company dollar and royalty is normally a 70-30 split, meaning that 30% comes to the market center and 70% goes to the agent. And so you would click on, it automatically pops in 70%, but if for some reason your commission split is different, then you would note that here. But most of the time it would be 70% in this block here until you are capped, and then you would put it at 100%. Do know though that the office system tracks this, so if you accidentally put 70% and you are capped and you just did not realize it, the CDA will actually show that you are capped, the commission disbursement authorization that is created by the MCA of the office, because the system notes and knows that we shouldn't be collecting that money. Then after the company dollar has been removed from the total, then over here on the left, you have agent royalty, and it's going to note your royalty percent of 6%. That pops in there at 6% because most everybody has that. It should always be 6%. But what you do need to do is answer whether you are capped or not on that. If you are capped, then you would put yes. If you are not capped, then we'll put no. So we're going to put no in both of these circumstances, saying that both myself and Marie in our example are not capped on our royalty, so that should be pulled out. So now we can see that $8,000 was our gross commission, and now with company dollar and royalty taken out, the agent's commission that will go on the 1099 is now $51.20. Now we get into the deduction section. You do have the ability to deduct for charity purposes for different KW charities, KW Cares, KW Kids Can, and Bold Scholarships. And note that this is a required section, so even if you're not going to be donating, you need to come in and type 0, 0, and then I'm going to leave this last one blank actually to show you what it would happen if I tried to turn this in and I had not filled in one of those fields. Now, as you scroll down, you see you have the option to have other deductions. This could be, some people choose to pay for the home warranty for the buyer, and that would be noted here. Maybe you donate to your own charity, that could be underneath this section, or maybe you pay a transaction coordinator, that would be underneath this section. And what this essentially means is deductions are taken after company and dollar and royalty are figured and are noted on your are not noted on your 1099. You actually have to deduct that amount at tax time yourself or with your CPA. There can also be custom deductions based on your office. So this office has their own KW Cares set up locally, and so we just have to note what amount we'd like to donate there. Then after we filled out this full section, we click next section, and you can see that even though I missed one of those fields, it did allow me to go to next section. This is not the moment in time that it is going to give you a red flag if you have done something wrong. That's going to be in a little bit. So underneath the co-broker section in this office, the only required field is the name of the co-broker and their company. So maybe I'm working with, again, Marie, and she's with our office. And then you can convey further information here if you'd like. For example, you can actually let your KW team leader know that maybe you liked this agent a lot and you'd like them to give them a call to see about them joining the office. You could note that here. Do note, though, that if you are paying an outside broker's referral fee, as in you receive this referral and then you need to pay that out, we do need the amount that's going to be paid to the co-broker's full information, and that co-broker's tax ID number. Now, this would be a required field that your MCA would point out at some point in time, but if you want to be extra helpful, you can already put the information in here to convey it to the office. Then you click next section, and you have your mortgage company, your closing company, and your home warranty information. You'll need to fill out anything that's required per your office. This office doesn't require any information there. Then I can click on next section, and the very last field is notes. So notes is anything that you would like conveyed to the MCA. For example, you could put something like, this is my first time making a green sheet. Please let me know if I did anything wrong. Or it could be, hey, I needed to pay out this much to a co-broker because of a referral, and I've added the W-9 to my dot loop paperwork. Or I am not totally certain if I did my agent detail section right. Can you please let me know if I got anything wrong? Really, any information you'd like to convey and let the MCA see, you would put here in the notes section. Now, after I filled out all of the required fields, then I would scroll down and I would click Submit to MCA. And then I would click Submit Green Sheet. Now, a big alert's going to pop up in this circumstance because remember I said before I purposefully left a section blank. And the nice thing is it will note and tell you what section you left blank. So the agent detail section, these 5 things I left blank, because apparently not only did I leave the information blank on my side, I totally forgot to put it in on Marie's side. And so I'm going to click on 0 here, 0, 0, 0, and 0 down here. and then I can go to Submit to MCA, Submit Greensheet. And now I know that it has submitted to the office because the status has changed to partially accepted. So partially accepted means that it has been turned into the office, and then once they receive all of the paperwork in dot loop and your compliance officer has checked it and okayed it for a DA creation, then the MCA can come in and fully accept this green sheet and create a CDA for your property. The CDA will then detail what check amount should be made to you, what check amount should be made to the office, and if any other check amounts should be made at that time. Please note that the CDA will be uploaded into dot loop, into your loop, and then you still need to review and send the CDA to your title company rep, the person who is your closer. Otherwise, they will not know how to split the checks. At this time, if you have any questions about the CDA, the green sheet you created, or you maybe realized you missed something, or even a week from now, a week from creation, you realized that the price is going to change, or that you needed to add on a referral that you forgot. Do note that you cannot edit a green sheet after it has been submitted to the office, and you should not create a new one. So if you have something that needs to be changed after creation of a CDA, then you should contact your MCA directly via email and let them know the change that needs to be made, and then they will revise the CDA. But again, you cannot edit and change it afterwards, and you cannot create a new one because that will then start the process differently, and we do not want that. If you have any questions about creating a green sheet or any of the different specific fields in here, just reach out to your MCA and they can help you out.